AHPRA was created by the nurse unions, and it's a partnership of state arrangements, but it's effectively unaccountable. Now, they've just done a survey of their impact and how they're regarded by the profession and by the public. And it's really quite damning about they're not widely respected and blah, blah, blah. It's a real shit can, right?
Well, they lost a bit of credibility in COVID, right?
Absolutely.
Because of the way that they were, I guess a lot of doctors felt that they were being controlled to a certain extent by AHPRA and the threat of deregistration if they imposed the COVID narrative.
A lot of them were deregistered on the whim of these, they're faceless people. You know, I've read the transcripts and I've actually listened to one particular meeting, and the nice little AHPRA people, and I couldn't actually see them, they would be sitting there, and you can say that I'm Rosemary and I'm George, and they don't have second names.
Ah, right.
So you're dealing with faceless people. Anyway, here's the point. When was the last time you saw a government agency ever bloody knock itself? Doesn't happen, does it?
Yeah, no, they usually, if they're writing a report about themselves and assessing themselves, it's going to be positive, right?
That's right, except in this case it's bad. So
they've kicked themselves up the backside?
Yeah, so it needs to be fixed.
Oh, because it needs to be fixed.
And what's the solution?
And the solution?
Oh, well, the federal government will have to take it over, won't it?
Ah, right.
Okay. So
it's a state, AHPRA is a collection of states?
It's a partnership of all the states.
Okay.
And even some of the conservative states even had conservative governments, and they just signed off because the LNP, the conservative politicians, have no understanding of the stuff.
Yeah,
none.
So it's clever, right? So they'll get the federal control of it by saying it isn't well run. We need the feds to step in.
So you've got the regulatory agency. Yeah, probably the first step, and the second one, we need to. It's far more efficient to have it all run out of Canberra. Remember the 40,000 bureaucrats I was talking about before in Queensland? How many bureaucrats do you reckon there will be in the Queensland end of the health system when it's run out of Canberra?
The same number there are now.
No, double it.
More?
Double.
Oh, okay.
It'll be 80,000.
Fantastic. 80,000 locally and some in Canberra.
Yeah, and so there's an international comparison point. France, Ramsay Australia, a subsidiary of that, because they're worldwide now, Ramsay's, very efficient hospital running group.
Yep.
They're one of the public health providers in France. I think there's half a dozen. We're looking at that. And I spoke with Carl Monaghan, who's the CEO of the Australian thing, and I was at a function, and I actually asked the question publicly, and I talked about the ratio of nurses to administrators in Queensland, which is 1-to-1. So you've got 10 nurses, you have 10 administrators, or 40,000 nurses, 40,000 administrators.
And she said,
I said, what's the ratio in France? And I said, and she didn't instant reply. She said, 10-to-1.
10-to-1?
10 nurses, 1 administrator.
Oh my God. How is their national health system not bankrupt?
No, in France, they have 10 nurses, 1 administrator.
Oh, sorry, the other way around.
1/10.
Good. Okay, right.
So that gives you some idea.
What about the UK?
Oh, the UK would be the other way around. You'd have 10 nurses, you'd have 20.
All right, so we want to move towards the UK system, of course, then.
Well, the federal government does. We don't.
Yeah,
We're going to fight it. Yeah.